All right. So Juan is going to school us in some cubes.
Or get schooled. So it's basically a feature we're working on to copy secrets from one Kubernetes namespace to another namespace. The reason why this is actually beneficial for us is we would like to be able to pull images from private container registries, and we need the secret information associated with those registries. And normally how they come is usually within the Kubernetes cluster itself, those secrets are provided. We just need to be able to have those secrets available in the context of a workspace namespace and a workspace pod.
So namespace is a Kubernetes concept.
Yeah, just like a regular namespace, but just Kubernetes namespace. So it's like you have your own resources that don't conflict with other name things in another namespace.
Okay.
So basically, the in repo we're going to have to do this work on the Rails side in our remote development stack. I have an MR for that as well. Let's put sign. I guess let's go for somewhere where we're more familiar together before we go to this repo. See, or was it this? Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay, well, just open my ID. Everybody can still see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Chad also has you working in Ruby Mine, I see.
Yeah, no, actually, because when I first started Ruby in my last job, I was on VS Code, and that was the worst thing I did to myself.
Yeah. I'm sure you're enjoying all of the code hints and auto completions and code intelligence.
Yeah, Chad put me on.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Not that. Kinda.
What's a -R? That's a new one for me.
I think it helps me list. There's probably a smarter way to do this.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the branch name where I was doing the work on my Ruby mine. And actually, I can just copy it here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If you do get branch, oh yeah, what is it? It should be
L?
ordered like last accessed or something like that, or like last update too. So
I
whichever.
know it's an L,
You have a
right?
typo on branch.
Yeah.
Do what?
Oh, you had a typo on branch. I was just letting you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's -L shows you the most frequent ones. I'm actually curious. Let's just look it up fast.
I learned
Options.
from Chad that git checkout minus switches you to your previously most recently accessed.
Oh, really?
Access branch?
Yeah, branch.
That's interesting.
Because -L is kind of the short for list, I assume. So
Yes.
it's a
Oh, well, -R is the remote tracking branch. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, but yeah, we can just copy it from the GitLab UI.
Yeah. I have PTSD from using my mouse when I was with Chad. Actually, like the best thing is the IDE. Like he kind of mastered all the shortcuts.
Yeah, yeah. Do either of you Vim at all?
Yep.
Not me.
My first internship, basically. So Chad also showed me this one. If you do git checkout DB, that fixes all of that.
Git checkout DB?
Yeah.
-DB or?
Nope, just DB, and then you're good.
Because that's gonna check out the DB folder. Interesting. Oh.
Like in this one, like Chad kind of helped me through like these Git issues that I had, and I learned so many. Like kind of just
that's really fancy. Yeah.
And I was like, I've never heard of any of these before. And honestly, I'm not really sure how they work entirely, but
yeah,
like, I know when to use them.
It's funny how like Git commands are so multi-purpose. Like checkout is not just for changing branches, but it's also for like pulling down file content and stuff. Like it's a little weird like that. But yeah, that's it. The Git checkout DB is a good one.
It's like all of the commands are somehow like a wrapper around like a master command, and they're just like using based off of that, like underneath the hood.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so cool. We're here. What's the context with this branch?
So yeah, I want to bring up the changes. Chat showed me how to do it locally to like show the whole diff. Because if I go back to Git, I have 2 commits, but I want to show basically these 2 commits, what they introduced. But I want to show it on the UI so that at least I can.
Will the changes tab not do that?
The what?
How is it different than the changes tab on the?
Yeah, I mean, like I just wanted to like show it here, I guess, because it's easier to navigate.
It's easier. Yes,
more intuitive.
Okay, got it.
But I don't remember how exactly. I think it's Git, and you now show diff, show history,
or you can compare with revision.
Compare with revision. Okay. What I want to do for like the whole project, like the whole GitLab project, not just a single file. I don't know if that's possible. Nah, I think it only does it on the file basis.
That person's name is Hercules.
That's so cool. I feel like some people just got the coolest names.
Yeah, I don't remember what to do exactly, so it's not to waste time. I'll just go file by file on the changes and probably try and cross-reference it to what I'm working on there.
Okay.
So yeah, basically in the workspace domain, I'm not sure if you've come in contact with it, Joseph, but we have like the whole railway-oriented programming, how we like structure our handlers to go through like a chain of events, keep everything clean and handle error handling like in a nice way, where you don't have to have like all the checks everywhere. Like there's a document on it there, like I can link it to you in the README if you want to take a look, but it's a really cool knowledge to have. So essentially what we're trying to do with this feature on the Rails side is whenever somebody updates the configuration file, I'm just going to open my GDK on the side here. So that's just a little.
Is this a GitLab instance? What is this project?
This is a random project that hosts the configuration file for Workspace on GDK.
For your GDK. And is it just like this is for the group's specific agents?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have remote dev, my config file. So basically this is what we want. Within the Kubernetes cluster itself, we assume that the user already has like the secrets that we care about, like the name within a particular namespace. So we now want to add that within the configuration of the agent, so that the agent's also aware of these secrets.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So this on the Rails side, this is not necessarily. This is okay. Yeah, this feature also handles this on the Rails side because we want to store this in the config table for the particular agent that we have. So basically, it shows here the whole flow of things. It's in a file called updata. I'll just switch over to my IDE. This makes it's clearer there. Agent config operations. So what happens normally in the workspace is we have the agent, and then we have like the Rails side, and we have within the Rails side, we have like a mini service itself that communicates with the agent. And one of the features we use the agent for is like as a callback mechanism to listen in on Git changes on the Git repo. So for example, whenever you change this config file and you have the agent active, it listens in on this particular configuration. And then it tells Rails that, okay, like this file has updated for remote development config so and so. So update it within the DB. This is how like we always get the latest up-to-date configuration that's stored here. It's kind of like a roundabout way of getting the configuration, but it's just convenient, I guess. I don't completely know the design details as why, but I see it's kind of convenient because the agent provides that feature already. So why not just leverage that?
Right.
So whenever we do that, we have the flow, the normal, like basic, like a controller flow, which is uh stuff from somewhere. So I don't
Wait,
have to,
can we
yeah,
pause for a second? Can we go
yeah,
back to the GDK?
okay.
Um, do we put secrets actually in this file?
Not the secrets, just the reference to what they are in Kubernetes. So no secret data is stored within here. Just like the
Got it.
metadata about what it's describing.
And that's what is that? What would that name point to? Is that like a Kubernetes holds the secret or like
Yeah, Kubernetes has technically within the cluster a secret with this
mm,
name in this particular namespace should exist already.
mm,
So our main job for this whole epic, I would say, is just to find that secret with that particular name and copy it into the namespace of any workspace that we're going to create.
okay.
So we're good on that. You don't seem convinced, Paul.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. Because I think I can feel the friction of just like, okay, there's now like this coupling between this YAML file and what's set up in the Kubernetes cluster stuff. And I could see that getting
It,
out of date easily, you know.
yeah, it's definitely like that's one of the reasons why like I opened the first MR on my first take on it, and I had to go do a rework because managing all the operations that could happen when you update a secret, delete a secret, we didn't necessarily like. I mean, this kind of goes back to how when we discussed with the ID team, I guess you also had this discussion too about how we plan epics, like the technical detail as to what we're going to do. So one good thing I can say about this feature is like, okay, we didn't hash out the specifics of like all those bad things that you think can go wrong. Okay, deletes, updates, and how to sync.
Yeah.
So what I did was, okay, I just did like a first MR contains like, I would say like think something that's runnable and works, but not necessarily the final deal. And then everyone just clamored on top of it. Like, okay, I don't think we should do this way. Like all the problems you have in your mind. And that's how I hope this next MR solves most of them. But
Yeah. I'm almost like what I'm curious about would be from a requirements perspective. I'm not saying we have to do this right now, but just something
yeah,
to think about would be what if we had, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is GitLab agent configuration, yeah.
yeah.
So what if we had something where we said like rather than I'm listing out each secret that I'm going to bucket that I'm going to copy to different namespaces, would it make, but now I'm coupled to the specific secret names and stuff like that? Like, do we
Oh,
want to be more convenient here and just be like, you know, image pull secrets enabled namespaces? And it's like, no matter what they're named, all the secret names, we're just going to make them all available or something like that. Does that make sense from a requirement perspective?
definitely, yeah, it does make sense. Like a label on a particular kind of secrets, like instead
Oh,
of
yeah, that'd
being
be
concrete,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually something too that's we're hashing out in the details of like the
Okay.
current work in the agent
Yeah.
side because how it works now from reading the documentation, because Kubernetes documentation is really, really too big, is whenever you're checking out the informer, because what the informer is, if anyone doesn't know, is like a in-memory cache that Kubernetes uses to maintain like information about objects that exist in the cluster. So within the code, like so for example, you don't necessarily need to like do API calls to get particular like resources, like let's say a pod or something like that. You can just check this in-memory cache, and it's going to have the latest information about this Kubernetes object available to you. The
Mm,
problem is like when you start this cache, it probably makes sense to like, I mean, it's an over optimization, but I don't necessarily think so. If you do not specify specific kinds of objects to listen in on, it's going to probably store all those objects in memory itself, which can be like a high load on the application. I'm still trying to figure out exactly the details about this, but yeah, like I read a text yesterday that explained this, that's the behavior actually. So yeah, a label that definitely filters would be beneficial for filtering and performance, and also in the context of this, like instead of specifying the name. So if we get the label there, so specify the name and the namespace, we can just specify, as you say, image pool secrets label, and automatically we just do that for every like secret that has that label applied to it. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna probably like write that as an added benefit apart from the optimization in the MR. But I guess if we don't end up tackling it now, just for like a first iteration, we probably come back to it and investigate it. Thanks, that's a good idea.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, no, then that I'm happy to know that
Yeah.
that makes sense. You laughed at Kubernetes documentation being too big. Kubernetes documentation is like a 3-month certification course. That's what their documentation is like.
Wow.
Anyone that wants to learn Kubernetes, I always see them go to like, I'm gonna get a certificate and like Kubernetes. You know what I mean?
That's the problem. Now you get a certificate and people say you're qualified, you know? You don't want to do this. Like,
Yeah, but it says qualified as like, I took what did I took like uh meteorology in college. That doesn't mean anyone should rely on me to do in meteorology. Anyways.
that's funny. Yeah, actually, I realized I have a meeting in 5 minutes
Oh no.
and I have to go. Yeah, it's
All
yeah.
right. Well, that was interesting. But so you have I think the context on the rail side makes sense. Do you have a little bit more time left?
Yeah, I have like 5 minutes, 4 minutes actually, because it's by actually I have three. Wow.
Oh man, the time's going so fast over there.
Yeah. I forgot the scheduling. The
That's no
first session
problem.
was 11 o'clock,
Oh, that's no
not
problem.
12.
Oh, well, I was really curious about the agent side MR. That one looked interesting, and I was going to ask if there's some interesting parts that you wanted to share about it, or
Definitely, I can hop on another print session and make sure that it's not scheduled within that time. And I would like to transfer as much knowledge as I've got, because this is my first MR on the agent side. So I also
yeah,
learned a lot. So it's kind of fresh on me. So it'd be
that'd be
nice to like
interesting.
tell people what I've seen in the code base as well.
Yeah, that'd
So
be really interesting. Cool. Yeah, well, yeah, if you gotta hop off, thanks for hopping on, Saplan.
thanks everyone. Sorry once
Oh, no
again.
problem. I'll see you.
Bye.
Hey, all right.
Hello.
What are you working on anything that you want to pair
Yeah,
on?
yeah. So right now I am trying to figure out, I think something with when I was messing around with Git, reverted some of my changes. And
Yeah.
here, I'll share my screen. Because right now I am not seeing.
Get deemed your changes was like,
Yeah,
no, you
they
don't get to
said
keep
it
these.
wasn't good enough. So all right. So basically, like the actual changes are that bad. So basically, after like creating this popover, I kind of
Mhm.
paired with Enrique. Enrique's like, you're doing too much in like basically the logic. So basically
Mhm.
separated into different components. So that's basically what I did over here. So this is kind of what it reverted. So I basically put my previous, so like that's a easy change. But what I noticed is right now, this should work as is. But when I go over to the page that it actually affects, I have a blank
Oh
screen.
no, nothing to do. All right, that's
So
really not
before
working.
I kind of go back and like update that change, I want to figure out what I did that
Hmm.
caused
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's
Um,
see. What's the browser console? Is the browser console yelling about anything? It probably is.
yeah, let's see. Console.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. That's not happy at all.
Yeah. Let's see. So find workspaces.
Hmm. Let's see. And the settings pages app seems to be upset.
Oh, right.
We go to the settings pages app dot view.
So
Uh, I'm looking at that third red line where it has an arrow pointing to the app at, and maybe we got to resolve those warnings.
Okay. Pages, workspace.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at that one. Let's see,
Okay.
see what we got there.
All right. So workspaces. Settings pages have. Oh, wait, hold on. This is not the right IDE that I should be using. I should be using this one. So the downside of having Dracula format in both. Okay. Um workspaces, settings, pages, app.
All right, so that should be good. It sounds like, yeah, something's not building correctly. So like if you see how the S underline is
Yep.
line 14.
Yep.
So those things I happen to know in the main GitLab application, they're always going to be available in our templates.
Yep.
Because we use them a lot. So that should be working. If we go back to the browser, if we do a hard refresh, man, it's not happy. I'm thinking if you look there where we see something Vite like blew up at the very top, it's like something aborted when like we were trying to pull something. I think this is a turn it off and turn it back on kind of situation. If we go to
GDK stop, GDK start.
well, let's see what Vite or Webpack is complaining about. It sounds like they might be have some stale information or something weird's going on there. So if we go to the terminal and if we do GDK status, I'd be curious about. Yep. Yeah, GDK status. Okay, everything is up. If we do GDK tail, so tail would for the logs. Yep. All right. All right. Vite is upset.
If I was on, ooh, okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and yeah. All right. Let's press Control C on this thing. And then we do GDK tail Vite, whatever it is. And then space Webpack too. Or yeah, just Vite. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think we guess restart. Let's restart Vite-ish.
Sure.
Yeah, GDK restart Vite.
So not like
Man, that's taking the time.
okay.
Okay, now if we tail Vite, see what it says. All right. Maybe we can try refreshing the page on the browser too. All right, yeah, and it'll start being upset because things are building. And that's okay. Okay. What the flip-flops?
You know,
Why is it so upset?
what I love about being an engineer, you always find new ways of breaking.
Yeah, I haven't seen it broken like this. So let's figure out what's going on.
May not exist.
All right. I'm not sure if it's related to your changes or if it's related to I'm not sure if it's related to your changes or if it's related to
Should I do GDK doctor to see if there's something going on?
that's a great question, but let's try something else first. If we press go ahead and press Control C. So see how it's like pulling from something in temp cache Vite stuff?
Yep.
Let's get rid of the Vite cache and run Vite again and see what happens. So if I actually let's stop Vite, remove the cache, and then restart it. So we do GDK stop Vite. Yeah.
It's really slow to kill this.
You don't happen to have multiple GDKs running. Do you?
Oh,
I don't think it would let you. I don't think that GDK would let you.
okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the temp cache thing. So if we go to
the path was temp cache.
yeah, so if we do rm-rf,
Oh, you're right. I could
yeah,
keep
let's
it.
do it there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
And then temp/cache. Oh, do it.
I'm already in GitLab. Yep, I'm
Yeah,
in
yep.
GitLab. So it does it. So, temp.
Cache/vite. And yeah, let's delete everything inside of there. Yep. Yep. Nice. Okay, now let's start Vite again. So everything inside the temp folder is ignored by git ignore. And so we have a number of like caching stuff that can happen in there. I'm I'm not a cool developer yet. I'm still running Webpack. I have for other random reasons I had to disable our Vite thing and keep using our Webpack build. So if we keep running JCS, we'll do that.
Yeah, I was trying that earlier. Like I had it up initially, and then like it just would take forever to load and everything. So everybody was like, just like switch over to, to like call it a day. Just
Oh, well, all right. That's because, all right, there's one little gotcha with the Webpack setup that if you tweak one little thing, it's actually a pleasant experience. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay, why is it internal server?
Oh,
let me
yeah, it's building stuff, and so it's not really great at figuring itself out when it's building. All right, let's see what's happening. Here we go.
Yay! Okay.
Great.
Progress. So yay! Okay.
Nice.
So now I can actually change this
Cool.
into what
That
I
was
had. What?
yeah, that was interesting.
Thank you. I was like, what did I break? I was trying so hard not to break.
All right.
All right. So now I get to actually get rid of all of this and
Nice.
simply just do, well, let's make this clean. Well, I have to keep pop badge. Get rid of popover. Instead of import data later, I need agent. I think it's details popover. Oh, and I can't spell popover from agent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Code suggestions has got you.
Yep. Because popover. Okay. Copy that. Move down.
If you scroll up, you'll need to add it in components on line 50. Or yeah, and then get rid of line 50.
What did I just yeah, GI popover. Okay. So I need to remove that. Ah. and then paste it here. Okay.
Nice.
Agent.
I think yeah, it wants us to make sure we're using it.
Yep.
It's upset that it's not using the template.
So then we have agent details pop up.
Was it there? Was that it?
This one, yeah. And this is basically,
Ooh, sweet.
so now save that. And now if I refresh this, oh, did I grab? Oh, that's why. Yeah.
It's a sibling. It's right next to it.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't need agent or components, do we? It's all right here.
Oh yeah. So I don't. Yeah. I just need. There we
Nice.
go. Yay! Yay! Huzzah!
Woo!
Okay. Yes. So now that I actually have that sorted,
Nice.
back to where I was, like.
Nice. Nice. Good. Good.
But yeah, so if I so I've been trying to figure out front end tests. So
Great. Yes.
basically, I have been looking at this was like my first kind of overview, figure out mount and like kind of all of those things. So I went through the Jest and Vue testing methodology documentation that they had on there, which had like
Way
3
too much
videos.
information on it. Yes.
And they also had like three. So
Yeah.
it's
Let.
Vue tool. And so I've been trying to go through this and understand what things do. So it's like
Yeah.
mount is like a wrapper for a component. Um Describe is basically lets you like label tests is what I understand it.
Yep.
It and tests are synonyms, so you can either do it or test.
That's true.
So basically that's how I understood it so far. To try and give myself a bit more understanding, I went to since Agents Table had like been something that Enrique made, I went to its test.
Yep.
And since of course I went to the wrong IDE, he is actually where I've been looking. So basically I was looking at these tests and then I was like, oh, this
There's
is
a
why
lot
I
going on.
need the other one to actually learn what's going on because
Yeah. Yeah. Let me let's do this. I think it'd be helpful if you can commit what you have and push it up,
yep.
and then let me pull it on my end, and I'll drive for writing some tests, and I think that'll be helpful. What do you think?
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Git status, just make sure that the only thing is those. Yep. Okay. But git add dot. Another question while I sort this out. So I have to do left like disable left hook every time that I do things
Every
because
time you
for some reason something I need to do git commit. For some reason something that I set up did not
been working.
yeah, it didn't do something right. So no edit. Oh, dash no edit. There we go. And then get have to do left hook again. Also, do you use iTerm or do you use a normal terminal?
I use the normal terminal, but I'm using tmux on it.
Yeah. Let's get push.
Yeah, there's times so I find so
W.
you might need to have 2 dashes on the force. Yeah.
Puzzle. Okay.
There's an option called no verify. I think it's called no verify, and you can skip hooks for Git options you're trying to do. It's worth though figuring out, on your end, why is left hook stuff not working, and that could be indicative of other problems.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're not my they throw me off more than they help me. My end.
So I actually sent you the link for the gifts page instead, but
Okay, no, that's perfect. All right, so let's do it. I'm gonna share my screen now.
right.
Okay. Okay. So let's copy this. Okay, we got the latest stuff. We got the latest stuff. Awesome. Yep. Great. Great. Did we just, yeah, you just pushed up. I want to make sure we got the latest of the latest. Yes, we did.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got some new components.
Yeah, to fix the styling. I know we use Tailwind more.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. Let's go ahead and write a test for this one.
Yeah.
So let's write a new test. Let's not worry about updating our test just yet.
Mhm.
So I'm going to copy this bit. Oh, geez, Louise, where are you at? Oh no, wait, why did that not work? It's not finding it. Agent. Oh, it's not finding it because I probably haven't fetched the latest stuff. So when I checked out the branch, it wasn't actually the latest. Okay, let's go. Yep, yep. GitLab's big. Okay. So I already have the branch checked out. I need to reset it. So I'm reset hard origin. And then I think I can do the whatever the branch name is to reset, see the latest. Okay, I guess I could have also done like a git fetch or something like that. Okay. All right. So now I'm talking about this file. Boom. Cool. Okay. All right. So here's how I'd recommend doing this. I'm gonna try to stay focused on just writing a test. So first thing we're gonna do is start with our creating the test file.
Yeah.
If I go to, yeah, I'm just following the same path as this. Now these
Yeah.
are EE files. So I got to go to the EE land. We're going to go to front end and we're going to workspaces. Here we go. Let's do it. Agent mapping, components. Boom. There we go. I can create a new one. So a lot of us are, it's not our favorite thing that our tests are split up from the subjects themselves. It'd be nice if the tests were located right next to them, but I'm going to not worry about that right now. Okay, we have our nice little test here. So I always start by my describe. I actually copy over just almost like
Yeah. The path.
the path of it. So,
Yeah.
but I'll do the path, not including this bit, but it's just like that.
Yeah. I noticed that from Enrique's when I was mimicking that.
And I do it because I don't really like to waste time thinking of names for things. Okay, so then I'm gonna. This is our subject, and this is the import of what it is. So, boom. Okay. So yeah, this top level describes are groups of tests.
Yeah.
On the inside, each one of the, oh my goodness, each one of the its are individual texts.
Yeah.
And then those its, I'll be able to do things and I'll be able to do things, and that's how we make our assertions and stuff. But let's go ahead and start running our jest watcher for the file. Okay, it wants me to run yarn. That might be why it's not happy earlier. And so I copied the path for this spec file. Okay. Okay. All right. So then I'm gonna run yarn, run jest, and then I'll do the watcher so that I can get updates as I'm making changes and stuff. And I paste in the path of the file.
Ooh, is there any way we can record this?
It is recorded. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
recording right
Great.
now. So that's great.
Great.
All right. Jess is taking some time because it has to transpile all the stuff. But boom. All right, we got our little test there. We're not actually asserting anything at the moment. So this is a Vue test. So we're going to use Vue test utils. So I happen to know that that's going to come from something that looks like this.
Yep. Is
Okay.
there a reason why you prefer shallow mount over mount?
That's a really good question. So with doing the full mount, I think it's kind of good to do both, but the full mount can be a little bit more fragile of unit tests because it's covering a lot more. It's running a lot that it doesn't need to run. I feel like all of our units need their own unit tests anyways. It's helpful to have some mounted tests that are doing all of the components and all of the componentry and integration. But for the most part, we use shallow mount because that's the most efficient and effective way for us to just test this individual unit. Sometimes we got to deviate from that. So there's some clever ways that we'll deviate. Because sometimes we'll do like full mount, except for some parts. And sometimes we'll do shallow mount, except for some parts. Because for things like table, you really want that component almost to do its rendering stuff it needs to. Okay. And so we call this thing wrapper. It's a bad name for it, but that's what we call it. And it's effectively like our test subject. And then, yeah, we have a thing where we create, I think we call it create wrapper or whatever. I don't know what we call, I don't.
Yeah, I've generally seen create wrapper
Okay.
or like create component. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't done this in a while. All right. But I'm going to show you, this is how my favorite way of doing it. Okay, we get this thing called an agent. I don't totally know if we have like I don't know if we have mock data for what an agent is.
It looks like we did basically based on like yeah,
Look
so
for some other ones.
yeah, I'd gone to agents table and I saw Enrique use this. I'll send it to you on Slack.
Okay. Here's one I see that's like map cluster.
Yep. It's literally that.
Map cluster agent. Okay. Okay, let's see. We've got, but then if I go back to here to this one, I have agent and then I have like connections. So it's almost like this is actually like the agent response. See if I have
Yeah.
connections anywhere.
So we had updated like in my code, like this issue, I
Mhm.
updated his query so that you get connections and everything from that.
So we might need to update what our mock data looks like. For right now,
Okay.
I'm gonna not worry about the mock data and I'm just gonna create something like this. So I'm gonna look for everything that agent is. Um, okay. This is maybe not the best way to do it, but I think it's okay. So I'm gonna create something here called test agent. And this is just these are my test constants that I'm going to use to initialize my subject. So I see I need connections, nodes, and yeah, it looks like we have a connected at kind of thing. Connected at, I'm assuming that's a date, so we'll just put date in there. We have an agent.name, I see. Let me look for, so I'm doing searching for agent stuff. So agent, yeah. Okay. So I have a name, I'll call this test agent name. All right. And then we have a project that has a name. Test agent project. All right. So yeah, ideally it would be to do, should this live in mock data somewhere? All right, it's failing to parse the file because I haven't thrown it into here. So what I'm going to do next is I got my props data I'm passing to this thing. Yes, agent, test agent is what I need to give it. Okay. So this should also be working. Great. So here's my favorite way of doing this. This is, so we just did the little test setup stuff,
Yeah.
but my favorite way of doing this is there's different conditions that my component will be initialized at based on what my props are. I can already see here is like my badge is going to be different based on what the connected at is going to look like. And so I like to do this. I have an inner describe here, which is default. And this is my default state. So I'm not getting any of my help. I have a feeling that I need to restart VS Code because I got a feeling that this thing is messing me up. I'm gonna worry about it later. Okay. And so, yes, I set this thing to the wrapper here. This is my helper function for creating my test subject. This is my reference to my test subject that I'm going to use in my tests, or I'll use in my helpers if I want to like find the popover, whatever I want to do from there. Yeah. So in my default case, I am interested in covering what gets rendered and if there's any other like lifecycle events that are going to happen here. What is your problem? Oh, it's not, it doesn't like that I don't have a test yet. That's okay. So what I like to then do is I'll look at the template for things I should probably cover. And what I see is, okay, I'm binding some data to button. Maybe I should cover that. Maybe I should cover that we render this button. So I'm gonna have a new it. Geez Louise, yeah, something's not working over here for me. Renders button. And yeah, it could be helpful to create little finders, but for right now, I won't worry about that. I'll do expect wrapper dot find component GL button. I need to import that. And so I'll just see if what I could do here is I'll assign that to the thing. Okay. And then expect button dot props to equal or yeah, let's see what the props for this button equal. I think it'll be empty, so I think I'll need to check like the attributes of the thing. Why are you upset? Cannot read properties of undefined. I have set this before each here. Why are you unhappy? Oh, because I'm not actually assigning it like this. I'm just calling create wrap. This thing does the assignment. Yes. Okay.
Right. So what just happened there?
So I haven't written these tests in this project in a while. Our create subject helper that we call create wrapper, it assigns already to wrapper.
Oh, okay.
That's generally really helpful. I mistakenly then reassigned here, but create wrapper returns undefined. So wrapper was undefined and none of that stuff was. So I really need to just put create wrapper here.
Yeah. So you just call the method that basically.
I just call the method.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
sense.
sense.
And so now we get in all these values here, but I'm not getting like ID. And this is a weird thing with Vue. Vue has a distinction between props and attributes. I'm mostly interested in, I want to verify ID and area label. So when I am asserting something, if I look at the props, these things are defined at the button component. What are my props? But there's lots of other attributes that get used, such as what's the element ID or other things like that. So, button.props is not actually what I'm needing right here. I need button.attributes. And I'll play around like this a lot, where it's like, okay, do I get it from props? Do I get it from attributes? Where do I get the actual value that I'm interested in? And boom, there's the ID I'm interested in. There's the label I'm interested in. So I don't need to assert all these values. So I'm going to now change my expectation from 2 equal to 2 match object.
Okay.
And it only is concerned about some of the values.
Yeah. So that's ID and basically ARIA label, maybe.
Yep. Exactly. So what I'll do, I love making the test fail, and I just copy the values from the from here. That's easy for me to do. So cool, nice. Now there's one little gotcha here I see. This ID is sticking out to me because I know we do like unique ID on it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do if I add a test before this, I want to see what happens to that. Okay, so you see this unique ID is not deterministic. So the order of the test now is important. And that's not the best behavior for my tests. So I'm actually gonna do something funny. I'm gonna do I'm gonna mock
out the kind of ID. That way it's standardized for the tests.
Yeah, look at this. So I'm gonna mock out unique ID to always return unique ID so that we're being deterministic. Okay, so it is always returning unique ID. It's not giving me my original value. So that's not necessarily what I wanted to do. I wanted to do val, something like that. Boom, nice. Now, no matter what, now my test determinism has been improved. Okay, yeah, so we asserted that we render the button. Now I want to assert that we render popover. Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm not interested in like all of the attributes. It's mainly the ones that we bind to I'm interested in, and other ones that I might be interested in. I see here we're adding a test ID. I don't know if that's necessarily needed, but let's go ahead and keep it.
Yeah, it was more like just learning that apparently data test ID is more for testing. I don't know like what you use it for.
Well, here's the tricky thing. It is used for unit testing for like if I have a whole bunch of popovers, it's helpful for me to find a specific popover that I'm needing to use. But we also use it for our QA specs. So I don't want to touch it because I don't know if our QA specs are using this thing or not. I could search for that and find if we are, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. What I am going to do is I want to do very similar to what we did with the button. I want to see if we render the popover. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do kind of a similar thing where popover.
So define component, popover.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Look at my thing. Look at that. What is going on there? My VS Code is like really freaking out right now. All right, that did it. Do you see how it's like hiding this line from me? What in the world? I'm blaming. So there was an issue recently. I think it's resolved, but there's an issue with our there's an issue with our GitLab workflow extension that caused CPU to go way out of control. I think I might be experiencing that. So I just quit everything. Okay. Hopefully things will be a little bit more sane now. I was feeling slowed down. I felt something was holding me back, man. Okay, cool. So I got all this stuff now. I've got what I'm really interested in are like title. Sweet. I'm interested in target. I really want to make sure target is the same as these, because that would be an issue, you know?
Yeah.
So I might actually do this where I create a expected button ID. And I really want to assert that these are the same. Yeah. Expected button ID. So then this is what I got target.
Yeah.
Expected button ID. And I've got title was our test agent name. Cool. Yeah, now we're rendering our popover. Cool. I want to now double check these fellows.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and add this will be cool. Let's see. Let's see if I can. I think I want to create a helper for this. So I want to find this component here. I'm going to go ahead and copy however we import it. Okay, it looks like it's just a sibling here. So
Yeah, I
I'll,
created that data label too, so I'm
Great.
probably gonna direct test for that.
yeah, I think it's okay. It's called agent.
Agent data label.
Okay. This is probably worth having a helper. So I'm skipping some steps in my head, but I'm thinking I want to find this specific one in a test.
Mhm.
And what can I find it on? I could add like a test ID, but I think it's kind of cool. What if I found it based on the label? So maybe we can see if we can do that. So I'm gonna have a label be my input to here. And then we'll look for wrapper, find, what is it? Is it like all components? I think it's something like that. I'm not getting really good test type information for this thing. There's a cool pattern I can do. I see us do this sometimes. How can I find it? Let me see if I can do import. It's something with. I need to do it like this. Yes, 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 yes. I went away. Where did it go? This thing. Yes, yeah. Looks like we got some cool documentation for type hinting. Shout out to Koss for doing all the work here. But this is going to really help out. So if I add this fella over my wrapper, then when I'm accessing wrapper, I should come on. Where's my if I restart my TypeScript server, I should get all sorts of helpful goodies. Come on, you could do it. Where's my helpful goodies? It's not helping me out. Maybe I missed an important step. Well, come on. I'm so disappointed. This thing seemed to work really nicely on his computer.
Always wants to show out in front of company.
I know. All right, let me see. There is, I think I need to run something. Let me take a look. There is something called let me look at our scripts. Oh my gosh, we got so many scripts. Maybe it's not one of here. Maybe it's in our scripts front end. Do you see one for like JS config? Oh yeah, create JS config. Does that reference here at all? No, we don't have it there. But if I run this one like this, let's see if that helps. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna leave it. If I restart TypeScript server, let's go a little JavaScript. What are you doing, JavaScript? Geez, no, doesn't know what it's doing. I'm a little disappointed in that. All right. Anyways, that's okay. I'm used to not having any help. Unlike Chad, m- I tend to not have any. My editors, I don't always fight that battle. But I'll go to Vue test utils. Their documentation is pretty decent, but you want to make sure that we're in you want to make sure that we're in the right Vue test utils one.
That was one instead of two.
Yeah, I don't see.
I think I had a link from Enrique that was specifying which one. Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for, yes, find all components. That is the name of the function. But yeah, this is super helpful. Just like, what are my actual things here? This thing should work, but I got to figure out. I'm surprised it's not working for me. So I'm going to look for all agent label components, and then this thing returns a wrapper array. So a wrapper array has a property for wrappers. So I'm going to do wrappers find. So from all of those, I want to find the one whose prop matches the label that I did. So I want to find x.props label equals label, something like that. Agent data. Yeah, so I'm going to do something like this. It renders, and then I can say it renders agent data. And so I'll do find
Agent data by label.
yeah. Man, VS Code has really stopped for me. It's not helping me out at all. Let's go ahead and get this thing up. And it looks like the data is actually going to be the text that we're interested in, or like the content of it.
Yeah.
So I'll do something like so this is the that's the child component. Oh yeah, this is the data component, and I'll return something like content agent data component text or something.
Is it so? I know for that label, it's like what's it called? It was like label and value. So would you need value instead of text, or like what would? I'm just trying to make sure that it's not like
For here.
yeah. So like
So an agent data label, it looks like the inner part is going to be this like from the slot,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm looking to, I think if I do dot text, I'll get as a string all the content in there.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll render the, I think so. So let's
Okay.
see.
No, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like you needed value or text and how text
Well,
would.
it might be. So I'm definitely gonna just, I'm definitely just poking around to see what I get. Okay, but let's see what we get here. All right. Let's run the thing. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we got it. Look, it all works.
Yep.
Code and blind and everything's working. All right. Agent project. So takeaway is these finders. So there's lots of different ways I could assert against this, but what I would like to do is find, I see that there's multiple ones. When there wasn't multiple of the same component, I could use find component. But when there's multiple of the same component, it was helpful for me to let me find all the components and find something I can filter by. And then whenever I do introduce this kind of like helper thing, then I could have just returned agent component.text. Sometimes I'll return like a custom object where I'll, massage what I actually want to assert against a little bit. But yeah, these finder helpers are super helpful. So we've have it that it's rendered this agent data, and then now we want to find that it's rendering this badge label. So we have that we render agent data. So we'll call this agent data project name. And then over here, I can do it renders. This one's going to be
a two-stage kind of test. So it's like renders
yeah,
badge and then kind of renders badge with each variant.
yeah. So we'll do that. Right now, we're just concerned about the default case right now. So renders agent data with for I don't know, what do we call it? And for status? I don't know.
Yeah, for status.
Okay. All right. So now I am feeling like I actually need to change this one because I realize this is more than just text content. This is doing something different. So if I go ahead and do expect find agent data label by and the data label's status to equal X, let's see what we get. Okay, it's giving me good text. That's great, but I'm missing the like, oh, the variant for the badge stuff, you know? So I kind of want to adjust this. So instead of returning text, I want to return just the component because from the component, I then want to get the badge. So I think I'm going to go ahead and update this so that here I'll do something like this. And then here, this was, so this should pass, but I'm not totally done yet. I want to do more than just get the text from the status. Okay, yeah, so what I want to do from here, so that's passing, that's great. But what I want to do here, oops. Oh my gosh. I want to then get badge equals agent data dot find component GL badge. Okay. And then we can do something like badge dot props to equal, we'll just leave it like that. And I expect badge dot text to equal connect. Okay. And what I'm mostly interested in is the variant. So I'll do props variant. Oop. Success. Okay, cool. So this is my default case. Do you have any questions or thoughts about how we got here so far?
So I think I'm just slightly confused on like how we adjusted the tests by the like labels. So basically, I understood like how find agent data by label, that's the helper function that we did, kind of filtering it by the connected in labels. Use the text to basically see what's inside of that. And then so instead of making that putting that in the helper function, you separated it out
Yes.
into that specific test. That way you can in the helper function, all you're doing is finding the agent by whatever label it is. And then you can kind of do whatever you want with the data inside in the specifics because you realize that the badge is like didn't just focus on the text.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. 100%. Yep.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so basically, if we scroll down, I just want to make sure that like I'm understanding. So, basically looking at now that you have the badge of that component, so basically, wait, hold on. Yeah. So you have that component of the label, you realize that the label type, the te content inside of it is a badge. So you looking inside that label for a badge, set that to a variable, and
Yep.
then you're now basically saying, okay, what's the content of that? Well, what's the variant type of that? You kind of did the mock test to figure out what you're actually looking for there.
Yep.
So you're like, oh, want to look at the variant, want to make sure it's success. And then inside of that, outside of that, you also wanted to make sure that, hey, we already have a response type that we're expecting, which is connected. So make also expect that response too.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So if I was gonna way abstract it, the way a lot of I think good tests get structured is I have my subject here. My component instance is my test subject.
Mhm.
And each one of these, I want to test on one trait of that subject. And so this one, I am testing on the agent data status. And Vue components, usually a trait is going to be like the child component rendering. How did that change?
Mhm.
And so here I'm testing on, I got 4 different traits that I'm testing on. I'm testing on specific button that we do this. I'm testing that we rendered the popover. I'm testing that we did these different things. And a lot of it is going to be I'm looking for a specific component using Vue test utils and all of that. I got to kind of familiarize myself with Vue test utils wrapper
Mhm.
abstraction because when I get a component, I actually get a component wrapper,
Mhm.
and that's going to allow me to target different things. And so yeah, so this is great, except there's some missing coverage, such that wherever we have branching logic, there's going to be some differences. And so specifically when connected at does not exist.
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm almost interested in would be if I could do const test agent not connected. This is just like test agent, except my connections, my nodes are gonna just be an empty thing, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's there's another to do here, which is definitely like to do what if nodes is empty. Like
Yeah.
we want to kind of figure that out. Um, but that's a new thing for me. So this was all the default case.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to create my wrapper with that other case.
Mhm.
And so I would say that with agent no connections, or not connected. Yeah, not connected. So that before each is going to do create wrapper, but I'm going to pass in, I need to now pass in some props data. So I'm going to, oh geez, I'm going to pass in props data. We'll go and initialize it to an empty object. And then by default, we'll do our default props, but I can override it when I
Mhm.
need to for my other edge case, for my other cases. So here, when I
Oh,
do create wrapper, I'm going to do agent is test agent. Yeah, I'm not getting any help at all. My goodness gracious. Uh, Something happened. Okay, it's going to be upset because I don't actually have a thing.
have a test.
Yeah, or I guess it's not too upset. uh, but let's see what I'm going to change here. So I actually now have a different badge variant and a badge label. So it looks like it's just that last one that I'm going to kind of do again. Uh, and yeah, these are going to be different now. So let's see what we get.
That would be.
Oh, it's not different now. What's wrong with you? Let me think. I'd expect them to be different.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, I called it connects. That's not going to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So what was happening was I wasn't actually overwriting this thing, so it was acting like the default
Yeah,
things.
so it's the same. Okay.
Yeah. So
So it should
now,
be basically the variant would be neutral and the text would be not connected.
yep. All right. And now
Right.
this fella is covered. Uh, so yeah. Um,
Okay, so basically the kind of methodology for front end tests is kind of separate from backend of going, okay, what breaks this? Basically, how to test that it works, doesn't work, and basically it fails as expected. Front end is kind of like make sure things are generated or rendered, make sure that it renders in the way that you expect. And then if it can render any other way, make sure it renders that way, which is kind of the same, but like it's a different way of thinking, I guess.
Yeah, so for the Vue component test, I definitely heavy focus on the template.
Yeah.
And for me, so this can also help out with what I'm thinking. I am concerned about, let's say that you got some feedback where, you know what, instead of putting this button ID here, what if it was, you know, because it doesn't necessarily need to be computed. Like, what if we put in the data, and I called it, you know, button ID, and while I was doing this refactoring, I straight up, you know, forget to do the unique ID thing.
Mhm.
Is that how it works? No, that's not quite how it works. So let's say I did this refactoring. That's a bug, and my test should fail. And it does, because we said no, it has to come. We added that unique ID thing. It's like, oh, right. So if I do unique ID, okay, everything's back to good. So I'm really interested in to know if things are covered. Is like, okay, if I add a bug into here, my test should fail. That's how I know if things are covered. And
Okay.
thing in the template is if I didn't set the ID on the button, this should fail, because that would be a bug. Like that wouldn't work. So we don't test methods or computeds or data properties. All this stuff is treated as private internal implementation details of the component. We're trying to test on observable things from the component, which are found in side effects, like if I emit events somehow, or what I render through the rendering. But
Okay.
yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, was that
Yeah, that was super helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Because like I don't like coming into like the front end testing aspect. I was like, I don't even know how to like set up these tests. I know I need to do tests, but I don't really know what I need to test for or the mindset I need to go in with testing. So this was amazing. You showed me like how basically one, not only the functions that I need to use to like kind of do this, but also like the mentality and the methodology. So like
cool. Yeah, I organize all of my tests like this. Even if it's not a Vue test, I always have, okay, here's my default case, constructor with default props or whatever it is. And it's like, and then here's, I'm asserting on all of my public methods on that sense. And then is like, okay, where does my subject deviate from the default? Those are my other describes of, okay, when I'm created in this sense and when the user does this, I expect this difference to change. And how I know I'm done is if I do something if I change something in such a way that would break functionality on the component, I'd expect my test to fail. So that's effectively it. But yeah, cool. Rather than committing straight to your branch, I am going to paste this as a patch onto it. Here's a patch. So I'm going to do git diff head. There we go. Yeah, and we've got a patch. So you can apply the patch locally and all of that stuff. Do you know how to apply patch locally?
No.
Okay, I'll show you. So I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and reset everything I just did. Hopefully, oh man, hopefully we kept it all. Yeah, we did. Okay. All right, so we lost it. It's gone, man. All right. All I do is copy the patch content, and then I will do PV paste, which is the Mac pasting from clipboard into the terminal stream. But I'm gonna pipe it to git apply. And now those changes are applied locally. So I can make my own commit locally based on this. However, so yeah,
Thank you
cool. All right.
so much.
Sounds fun. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for bringing it up. And I think, yeah, it's super helpful just to walk through front end testing. It's easier than our documentation doesn't seem to do a walkthrough. Our documentation is like it's like a small towns like city bylaws. You know? All right. Thanks, Joseph. I'll catch you later, man.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.